Thank you all. Well, hello, and we are live. I'm so excited that I finally got this thing launched. I actually thought about this months ago, and because, it had sat in my genius mind, but my spirit just wouldn't let me start it. So I am just glad that we finally have today featured here for you today. But what I really want is help because we have two different names. So I want to start with that. Should we call this CLC, right? So CLC stands for Certified Life Coach. CLC Success Hour, right? Or should we just call it Success Power Hour? The Success Power Hour. So CLC, so everybody that's on here, and even if you come and catch the replay, vote. One for, do you like CLC Success Hour with Master Coach LaKendra? Or number two, do you like Success Power Hour with Master Coach LaKendra? So give me your vote. Vote number one, CLC, which stands for Certified Life Coach, Success Hour with Master Coach LaKendra, or number two, Success Power Hour with Master Coach LaKendra. Which one do y'all want to decide on? Hello, and welcome, Nappy Coach Nia and Coach Quesabala. So y'all go ahead and invite some of our coaches in here, share this out, because we're getting ready to meet one of our great master coaches of the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs. And she's going to be coming on here and really giving us the business. So as you guys are jumping in, we're going to get prepared for her. Coach Quesabala says the Success Power Hour is like a power nap. So are you voting for that one? Are you voting for that one? The Success Power Hour is like, it's like a power nap. Yeah, because it's going to be like when we come on every Friday into the end of this year, there are going to be just some powerful talks that we need as entrepreneurs and as growing human beings, right? All of that nurture that we need. And, how do we move through fear? What's our next level? How can people know who we are? What makes you a great CEO? How do I take care of my mental health? Like all of these different topics that we are going to be talking about, how to get published, how to get on a stage to speak. I'm talking about great topics in this power hour, and whatever the vote is going to be today is how we will complete the year. But okay, great, we got people jumping in now, so let's get started. I want to introduce to you Master Coach Desiree. Desiree is a Forbes Next 1000 nominated master level coach. She's NOP practitioner. She's an author and a speaker who helps women in their challenges in their lives so they can produce plus hit more of their goals. She offers coaching, courses, ebooks, and workshops, and she can be found on Entrepreneur, 30 Under 30 lists, Business Insider, and more. So you already can tell that she is a person to hear from on today, right? This series, we're going to be interviewing her. She's going to be our very first coach to kind of start this series off. And we're excited that she's joining us because she's going to give us her secrets on how she got others to notice her achievements and her passion as a life coach. And let me tell you something. If she can do it, so can you. If Coach Desiree, Master Coach Desiree, can come in and not have years of entrepreneurship underneath her belt, come in and pretty much not even really know a whole lot about marketing and all of that good stuff and learn. Like she literally, I'm going to call her self-made. I'm going to call her a self-made success because literally I remember us being together because I met her on another platform, and she just coming in that platform and dominated it because she applied the grit that you need as an entrepreneur. She woke up every single day with success on her mind, and that show up for herself regardless of what she was struggling with in her personal life and her mental, her mental and emotional life. She did not allow that to defeat her. And even though she may even still suffer from things, that happens in our life that we can't escape from, she chooses herself every single day. And that's the reason why she's here on this platform, because it excites me when we get it. When we finally say yes to our success, yes to our goals, and crush them. Like literally, just, we're just like out here crushing our goals. So I'm getting ready to bring Master Coach Desiree up to the stage. Bring them out, bring them out. Hey, girl.
I'm I didn't know if you're gonna bring me on like in that exact second because I was about to be like, yes, you gotta hype yourself up. So it's just like
And she's a
cheer for
goofball,
myself.
and she's a goofball just like I am. That's why this is going to be a great first session. Hello, Master Coach Desiree. It's
Hey
so wonderful
girl.
to finally have you here. Now, we've been talking about this, for some months. So,
Hmm.
this is what I tell people. Whenever you wake up and you have been given the grace to live another day, you can always show up for goals that you set 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or yesterday. You have that day to get it right.
Right.
Right. So, can you just tell us just a little bit about your story? Like your story. Like, I want to know the story before the success. Like, can you just share a little bit with that? Because we have so many coaches and so many entrepreneurs that they want to start, but they may be facing their own darkness or difficulties in their life right now, and they feel like they don't have the tools. They feel like they're not worthy. They lack the motivation, and they're trying to find that. They're trying to find the consistency. How did you do it, Master Coach?
Well, if you go back to the beginning of time, um, I think a lot of times when we look at people that are successful or people that have the things that we are striving to have ourselves, we look at them like, oh my goodness, like they don't have any bad days or they just popped out of the womb like that. And it's not the case. Not the case. I A lot of people will ask about my drive and about my ambition level and just like how I'm making things happen. And it isn't like a pretty story. And one of the things I'm going to be teaching you guys today is to actually share your story because most of the time people do not look like what they've been through. And so I'm going to tell you some things that I've experienced, and your face is going to fall to the floor. You're like, wait, because you're looking at me now, and it's just like, I don't get it. Like, make it make sense. But I am someone that's faced a lot of trauma, a lot of abuse, of sexual trauma starting from like age 5, and it was like recurring, like ongoing. I'm like, why is this my thing? Um, Homelessness, domestic violence, and things that just like the world just gave me. And I was like, either I get through this or I die because I'm not about to stay around for this shit. I'm outie 3000. Let me figure out like the quickest way to do this. But things haven't always been and aren't always easy. There's always some kind of like challenge or some kind of test that comes along to see if you are going to be ready to become that next version of yourself, to do what's required to get to where you're trying to go. And so I look at everything that I've ever been through that's been challenging, whether it's been growing up in a household that wasn't very loving, or feeling like I really didn't have people to support me, or to protect me, or like any of the things that I felt like I was missing in life. I use those things to be able to fuel my passion to be able to give that to other people, because I know that there were people that were suffering from the same things I was that didn't make it. I know a lot of people that I went to high school with that were suffering from things that may um, have been worse than what I've been through, that are no longer here, or they're strung out on drugs and they're missing teeth, or they are in prison, or and just living a horrible, horrible, horrible quality of life. And ever since I started having like my own struggles, I knew that I wanted to help other people be able to not deal with that alone. And that started from like age 11. I've always been an advocate for other people because shit was going down for me, downhill, starting at 5. So Sister Girl has always been advocating for other people, because for some reason I've had some kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to call it inner strength, but I knew what my life was gonna look like. I knew like where I wanted to go. It's just the things in my life didn't add up to it, but now it does, because everything I went through has helped me become the person that I am today, so that I can be able to serve in the way that I am.
That's good. I love that you really took us through your darkness. So thank you for being vulnerable, because a lot of people don't like to share. But I train that our stories are our greatest comeback. It's your greatest weapon. It's the greatest part of your success that will fuel you to keep you going. Because one thing is, we don't ever want to go back, right? We never want to go back. So the first 15 minutes of all of our power hour, whatever we're going to call it, CLC, success, whatever, y'all going to vote on that, okay? So we can solidify this, because my brain just want to say it all. But that's my brain, okay? The first 15 minutes, we're going to always just candidly talk to our coaches so you can get to know them on a personal level. And so you can relate. So you can relate to see that, we're not here trying to say that we got all our shit together, because we don't. Every day we're living to perfect the person we were on yesterday. And that's so humbling. That's the reason why I love working with life coaches, because we're such humbled people, because we come from something that we have truly journeyed through, and it has been a war or a battle, or it's just a continuous battle, right? So the next 30 minutes, we have a couple of minutes before we go into the next 30 minutes where Master Coach Desiree is just going to give y'all a business. We're not talking about this fluffy stuff. We get enough of that on social media, where people, they build this storyline, and then boom, there's something like you're left with that cliffhanger of like, well, how do we even do it? So all of our coaches who will be coming on will really be giving you the meat and the potatoes of what their topic is going to be. So make sure you have your pencil and your paper together. Make sure you're putting your comments, because the last 15 minutes, it's going to be questions, like direct questions that y'all have for Master Coach Desiree. And she's going to honor those questions and just give you the business, give you the answers. And then those of you who need that extra, like I do, who needs that extra nurture and that extra TLC to help you to execute, because that's the next thing. How do I execute this where I can now show up, where I can show up as an influencer, where I can show up as a person of authority? She can help you to do that. Even I use Master Coach Desiree, my personal self. I'm not afraid to say that. So So she'll be able to also share with you how she can really help you, and especially those who are a part of the tribe. If you are a part of our tribe, all of the coaches will have a special package deal just for you, if you need that help with the execution. Because I will say, y'all, we get so busy in our own platforms that there's so much other things that we miss out on doing
Hmm.
because we're not positioning and partnering ourselves with each other. Like I suck at PR. I suck at just talking about myself, right? But that master coach Desiree knows how to get your name out there where people will know you and know your authority. She has been a pivotal part of our foundation and recognizing our brand ambassador. So if you haven't caught the article from Coach K Sabala or the article from Nappy Coach that is featured in Thrive Global, which y'all know Thrive Global is a big global brand. It's because of Master Coach Desiree that has been able to happen. So I am going to shut up. Hello, Coach Nilo. Coach Nilo is here. Okay. Hello, Coach Nilo. Thank you for being here. I am going to close my beautiful lips and I'm going to give you the floor, and give you this whole little platform while I go do some mixing and mingling over here and go visit our YouTube channel and see who's over there to gather these questions for you, at the end of the segment. So I'm going to graciously give you the floor, Master Coach Desiree, and I'll be back.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. All right, people. Mama's gone, so it's just me and you. So, first things first, what I want you to expect out of this training is to learn how to share your story, learn how to actually get your house in order to be able to pitch people, learning how to pitch, and overall just getting all the back end things taken care of for you to be able to present yourself to people that you would like to be in some kind of partnership with, or have yourself featured on one of their websites, their magazine, their podcast, or whatever the case may be. So the first thing is being able to share your story. I think most of the time when we're talking about sharing our stories, we really want to just talk about our successes and just be like, I'm this bomb creature of success. But we don't want to talk about the bad stuff that we went through. So imagine if you were going to a conference and everybody up there was talking about the section of the conference when they're supposed to be talking about their story. Everybody was like, oh well, I mean, I just started my company and I did what it took to make my 50 million, and it's just, but they said nothing about struggle. No one said anything about struggle. You would look at every single speaker and you would not be able to connect with any of them because you're feeling like crap, because you're like, what am I doing wrong? Because if it's as easy as just saying, I'm going to start my business and just make that 50 million, what am I doing? What's the problem? What's the problem? So, the first thing I want you guys to do is figure out what your story is. And your story is going to be every single thing that you have overcome that's going to be able to help you in the area that you're trying to pitch people for. And when I say pitch, it's asking people for an opportunity to work with them or be a part of what they're doing. And so, if you are, let's say, if you're wanting to be featured on a wellness magazine, recognizing what parts of your story relate to wellness is what I'm talking about. So, it could be, um, my mother actually died from um, some kind of physical illness. And that is what's helped me to realize that just because we look healthy on the outside doesn't mean that we actually are healthy. And because of that, I started doing this and this and this and this and this. But you have to be able to share that vulnerable part of your story. And you have to be able to talk about yourself, not just specific pieces. Like when Master Coach LaKendra was asking me to talk about the success before the success, I could have easily talked about all the many accomplishments since all the things that have happened in my life. But I'm introducing myself, not my success. I'm introducing me as a person. And because I introduce me as a person, as someone that has been through things and someone that has overcome, now all of you are actually listening because it's like, oh my God, I go through that too. So, um, I want you guys to first write down what you want your story to look like, where it started, where it is, and where you want it to end. That's the first thing. Crafting out all the things that have happened to you that you feel like you may be ashamed of or that are taboo to talk about, you're afraid to talk about because you don't want to seem unprofessional, you don't want to seem like you don't have it together, you don't want to seem less strong or vulnerable or whatever the case may be. You need to write down every single thing that has been um, a pivotal moment for you because those are the things that have built you to become the person that you are. And that is important because when I get to the part about pitching, a lot of people will just be like, hey, I'm such and such, and I do da 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 da, and expect people to care. And not saying that they don't, but I'm not saying that people don't care, but having to share your story in a way that matters to the people that you're going to be talking to. And part of that is knowing your actual story, knowing where you stand, what you stand for. Um, One of the things that people struggle with for me is I will send them a questionnaire if they want to be featured someplace. I will send them a questionnaire. And the questions will be, what makes you qualified to talk on this topic? Or give me a little bit into your background or your bio or whatever the case may be. And people will literally just answer the question. There's no hyping themselves up. There's no recognizing that they actually accomplished a lot of stuff because it's hard for us to talk about ourselves. I don't know if you've ever like been in school where you had to like on the first day you had to like introduce yourself. I was a person that was trying to come to class late. Like I'd be like 15 minutes late. So I can skip the whole introduction part because I'm not trying to no, what do I say? What do I say? Um, so you need to write down your story so you can talk about yourself because people are going to ask you, okay, so this is what you do, but tell me a little bit about yourself. And you don't want to be stumbling and fumbling over your words because you're trying to look for the pretty parts to tell them and not all the other stuff that helped you get to the pretty stuff. That makes sense? I can't see you, but I'm assuming you're nodding. Boom. Enough on the story part. Now, the second thing I want you guys to do is to build some kind of online presence. Why? Because when you decide that you want to be a part of what someone else is, we're nodding, yay. When you want to be a part of what someone else has to offer, they are going to look you up. And when they do, there needs to be something for them to find. So, build some kind of online presence. That could be on LinkedIn, that could be on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. You need to have something where people can back up what you've been saying. So part of that is having a website. I say have a website. I will, that's the freaking hill I choose to die on. You need to have a website. So that people can Google you and see what you're about. That website could literally have two pages, your homepage and your about page. But you need to have some place where people can go and read more about you or find more about you. And speaking of being able to find more about you, they're going to be going to your social media. When people want to work with me, heck, when people want to date me, I'm going to your social media to figure out what kind of person you are. Oh, you curse a lot? Oh, you're talking about this and this? I don't think I want to be affiliated with that. So make sure that people are going to find what you want them to find. You catch my drift. Um, if you're going to go and decide that you want to put someone, put your company to be able to help you with whatever, um, your social media or your website or whatever online presence you have needs to be reflective of the expertise that you say that you have in that area. When I go to look at your social media or when I go to look at your website, I don't need to be seeing stuff that doesn't have anything to do with that, which is why I have people have a professional page and their regular profile. Put your regular profile on private, get a business page or a separate profile or whatever, and have that be your professional profile. Why? Because when I am looking to see what you're about, like you told me the pretty stuff in the email you sent me, but I'm really trying to figure out who you are because um, we fluff. We fluff all day. We will send people our representative, and I want to see the behind the scenes. So I'm going to go look at your social media. I'm going to go look and see what I can find. Um, and if I find things that aren't in alignment with what you told me that you're about, or that aren't in alignment with my company or what I have I've built, I'm not going to respond back to your email. I'm not going to call you back. You're just going to be sitting there for months wondering, oh my gosh, why didn't anybody ever respond? So creating a professional business page or professional profile that's separate from your private profile is important. So many people, even if it's a job, you don't get a call back because they saw something on your profile that they were like, no, mm-mm, I'm not about to be more responsible for hiring that and bring it up in here and now it looks bad on me. So separate. You need a business profile or a business page, and you need to have some sort of website or something because people want to be able to research you. And if you don't have any kind of articles or anything speaking on your behalf, your website and your social media is all you have. Okay. So they don't need to be on there saying stuff that isn't going to make them happy. So if you are going to be pitching somebody that you know are strong vegans and Christians, you probably shouldn't have on your profile a picture of you eating some ribs um, and talking about religion is the devil or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to have things up there that are in alignment with who you say that you are to them and who you are as a brand. It needs to be able to align. I'm going to assume you're nodding and that I'm not talking too fast because I can't see you guys. And so I'm just like, we are nodding. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. I don't know where I am on time either because I talk fast. So, um, the last thing is crafting your pitch. Do not, and I repeat, do not slide into somebody's DMs or slide into somebody's inbox if you have not done your research on them. Okay. Before you even think about asking somebody to do something for you or asking to do something for someone, you need to have researched their audience. You need to have researched their brand, their mission statement, what they're about, what problem they have that you can solve, whether or not your solution fits the problem that they have that you can solve. And then you formulate some kind of reasoning as to why you're going to be reaching out to them. But if you have not done all of that, don't go asking to serve people or asking people to do something for you because I don't want to say it's annoying, but people see a lot on a daily basis. We have people selling to us all the time. Even if you're just like a regular person, you see ads all up and through Instagram and Facebook, and you're just like, I didn't ask for this. Or people are sliding into your DMs being like, hi, how are you? So we had this new special going on, and it's and you're like, first off, I already have that part taken care of, so I don't even need that. So if you would have asked me if I needed that, that would have been great, and we probably would have had a chance to work together had you asked me what my problem was, and I told you, and then you told me you had a solution. It would have been a lot better versus you just, this is what I got, and you did no research on me or my business on what my problem could be and anything like that. So please do not fix your fingers to send somebody an email or a DM and you have not done any research on them. Don't do it. Don't do it. Second thing, when you're pitching people, I'm shaking my head because when you become someone that is more of like of influence, more people want to be able to work with you, and more people want to kind of like see what you're doing, and just more people are reaching out to you. And start with service in mind, okay? In anything you do, in your business, whether you're trying to gain partnerships, whether you're trying to gain clients or anything, start with service in mind, not trying to get something from people, because we can tell if you're just like, oh, hey, how are things? But you really just trying to be polite so that you can get to your ask, which is what you really wanted. Um, here's what you do. This is what you do. You've done your research on their clientele. You have done your research on their mission statement, on what they're about, what their next product is, what they're struggling with, and how you can help them with that. And you have crafted your story, or at least you have a rough draft of, okay, so this is where I was, this is where I started, this is where I am, this is where I want to go. When you are, oh, and it's even great for introverted people. I know that sometimes when people are talking about pitching, it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm not good with talking to people. It's not even about talking to people. It's, you know, that you have something in you that other people will need, and you are just voicing that. We need multiple people that are sharing the same message. We need multiple messengers sharing the same message. Okay? So, whether you are introverted or extroverted, it does not matter. We need to see a variety of people that are successful, that have been through the things that we've been through, so that we know that it's possible. And so, a brown skinned girl from a country ass place, pardon my French, where there's no hospital, where they had to be delivered in the city next over, who's been through sexual abuse all up and through her life, and trauma on trauma on trauma, domestic violence, all kinds of things. This is what I'm talking about. Um, Someone who has been through that needs to see me now to be able to be like, oh, okay, well, it can be done at least. So, okay. But people need to see you. Where's the camera? You. People need to see that you have made it, with your unique set of experiences, that you have made it. And that's why talking about this shit fertilizer that you've been through is important, because you can't just talk about your success and expect people to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I want to work with them. They need to connect with you. We do business with people that we connect with, that we feel like we have some sort of like tie and like understanding with. And so, tying that back to your pitch, you talked about when you crafted out what your story is. And in that, it's okay, this is what I've been through. This is what I'm good at. This is what I've accomplished since all the bullshit that I've been through. And this, because it doesn't stop here, this is where I'm headed, period. when you are crafting your pitch to someone, and a pitch is a proposal of sorts on what you would like to do for someone or what you like someone to do for you. And we pitch people all the time. When you want someone to date you, what are you doing? You're courting them. You're putting your best foot forward. You're doing things to prove to them that this guy is the one that you want. And so that's what a pitch is. So hope you understand that. So when you are pitching someone for the purposes of getting a feature in a article or someone's magazine or someone's podcast or whatever, you're going to start with talking about what you have recognized about the company that you like. You're going to be taking a piece of their mission statement and saying how you relate to that. And talking about the latest, whether they did like a post on some accomplishment that they've made. You're going to be talking about that because it shows to them you're staying up to date with them. One, you actually did the research to see what they're about, and so you actually care. Two, the third thing is you did and took the time to research my audience. So when you're presenting me with this solution that you say that you have, I see that you actually took the time and you did the work, um, which is big, which is why you put that part first. You talk about yourself at the end. Hoping that makes sense. I know it seems backwards a lot of the times when we want to pitch someone for something, whether it be like a job interview or whatever. We tend to be like, "Hey, my name is Desiree. I do this, and that's great. It truly is. It truly is. But I'm interviewing like thousands of people, and a good chunk of people do this. And the people that stand out are the people that actually took the time to do the research, because most people are just looking for a leg up. You need to be looking to serve. That is what sets you apart. That is what sets you apart. That's what sets you apart. The reason why I have so many um, features and have been able to get them rather quickly, because I only started doing this and pitching myself in like the last year. And there's been like buku publications. The only reason I was able to do that is because I came from a place of service, not from a place of, ooh, this will look good on my resume. This will look good on my website. This will look good for me. Like, let me figure out what you have, what you offer, and da da da. I wasn't doing it for the purpose, for the sole purpose of what you can do for me. People can tell when you are only talking to them because you want something. We see that all the time on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. We just keep scrolling because I'm like, you don't care about me. You don't scroll. So the first part of your email or whatever, when you're talking to someone, is talking about what you know about them and how you align with it, what the problem is that you have seen, and what your solution is. Then you talk about how you're qualified. So this is how that sounds. Um, let's see, who's the last person I pitched? I pitched Thrive Global in Authority Magazine on Wednesday at like 3:45 or something like that. They responded back to me Wednesday at 7 something. So the same day, like 4 hours later, they were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And it was a piece, it was like, what was it? 5 ways to stay resilient during like tough times or whatever. So I sent them a pitch for that. I was like, oh my God, I'm resilient. I've been through all kinds of shit. Look at me now. I'm great. So how I did that, I researched Authority Magazine and what they're about. If you don't know how to find that, go to their website and go to their About page, and it'll be on there. I went to their website and saw what they're about. I looked at the journalist that was asking the questions, like the person that is looking for people to be able to be a part of their stories or whatever. You're always going to be doing research on the person that is in charge of whatever you're trying to do. So if you're trying to be on somebody's TV show or you're trying to be on somebody's podcast, for the TV show, you're going to be looking for the booking producer. That is the person that puts people on the show. If you're trying to pitch somebody for a podcast, you're going to be pitching the person You're going to be pitching the host. So for me, I do a lot of article pitches to be able to get stuff online because you can Google that. That's what I like. I like stuff that you can Google. Um, so I found that person and I looked at all the content that they usually put out, like the three newest pieces of content that they put out. So I could see what kinds of stuff that you care about. Why is that important? Because if I'm going to court you and get you to choose me, I have to know you. I have to know you. So I looked at their last three pieces of content that they put out. And so when I was introducing my email, I was like, hey, such and such, um, I saw that you put up an ad for meeting people to talk about 5 ways to be resilient and in turbulent times. And I wanted to say that I have a lot of interest in that. But before I get into like all the good stuff, I wanted to say that I saw your last three posts and I was freaking amazed. Like in your first article, you were talking about this and this and this, and that really related to me because um, I've been through something similar, and I appreciate you for taking that approach in that article because not a lot of people take the time to actually do that. So I can tell that it was something that was important to you, and I like that, and that really, really got me inspired to even want to be a part of this next article you're doing because I've seen the work that you put out before, and it was just like, oh, I have to be a part of that. So I want to say that first. Then I got into the actual reason why I'm emailing to begin with, which is to pitch him on why I'd be good for his article title. So the next part of that email was okay. So now that I got all my fangirling out of there and got that out of my system, I wanted to kind of like run something by you on this article because I am someone that has been through um, a lot of turbulent times. But before I get into that, I know that your audience is between like this age range and are typically people that are going through this. And I feel like I would be a really good fit to talk to this particular demographic because I've been through this, and you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at me now, but it's true. I kid you not, I have been through all of these things, and I am still relatively sane, mostly happy, and like 98% whole. So I think I'm doing okay and I'm qualified to talk about this. Um, I've been in this feature and that feature and this and this and this and this and this. I don't want to like go on like bragging about like what I have going on, but this is important to me. I really want to be a part of this article because I feel like it is super important for people to know. Da 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 da. See how that's different from someone sliding in your DMs and being like, hey, how's life? How's your business going? Crickets, you didn't respond. Okay, well, here's my offer. Click the link. Who are you? Where's your enthusiasm? You don't even know me, first off. So, before you decide to even pitch someone or to send someone a message to help them with something or for them to help you with something, you need to have some freaking enthusiasm, first off. You need to have researched them and it needs to come from a place of service. We get pitched all the time and you pick the people that you feel like actually care. Right or right. Would you pick the person that stepped to you and was like, hey, so you want to go out and da 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 da, and they literally saw you in the store and they tracked you down to your car. So they've never even seen your face. Like they've been walking behind you this whole time. It's like, hey, hey, I just think you're beautiful. You want to go out? The last 2 seconds is when you first just now saw my face. So how do you know that I'm beautiful? First off. And second, you don't even know me to be like, oh, let's go out on a date and da da da. It's the same when you are pitching people. It does not feel genuine when you just hop in somebody's inbox and you just have no idea what they're really about, other than you like that they have a big name, or kind of like read a little bit about their podcast and like you read their like their specs, like okay, so like they get 1 million people that are looking at their stuff. um they get big celebrities on there. Okay, so that would be good for me. How often do you think they're getting people that are trying to get a leg up in life through them? You know what I'm saying? So come from a place of service. I think that is the biggest thing that sets me apart from anybody else, is because I know that my ass has suffered through a lot of stuff. Um, and I know that the reason why I need to put myself in front of more people is because I need more people to hear my message and know that it does not matter what shit has happened in your past or what shit's happening in your present. You control how the story ends. So it does not matter if you feel like you're halfway through your story, you feel like you're 75% through your story, it does not matter. At any point, you can wake up and be like, this shit is not for me anymore. This is what I want, and start moving towards it. But in order for you to believe that that's possible, you have to see people that look like you, talk like you, and have been through what you've been through doing it in order for you to believe that it's happening. And you also have to feel like you have access to them. Seeing Barack Obama be president was like, okay, but like I don't have access to Barack Obama. So like seeing Michelle Obama be first lady and she's like, oh my gosh, yes. It's good to see, but we also need people that we have access to. And so in order for you not to be the world's best kept secret anymore, you need to be able to share your story. You need to be able to get comfortable talking about the things that you've been through and talking about where you are now and where you're trying to go, not for the sake of being vain, but to show people that it is fucking possible to go through this and look like this and do this. If for nothing else, you need to do it for that. And I feel like when you come from a genuine place and you actually want to serve and you actually want to do some good, you will be rewarded for that. So if you're coming at them for, and it seems like you're just looking for opportunity, we're swiping. It's not even going to happen. It's not even going to happen. And so, recapping here, knowing your story is important. Having what they're going to find out about you on the internet is also important. And so, that's having a website, having your social media on point, having your private stuff that you don't want anybody to know about, or you just want to keep it to yourself. Put that junk on private and have a public profile and a public business page where people that are interested in working with you are able to see that, even if you don't think that you're ready for anything right now. Having a consistent pattern of putting out content, or a consistent pattern of just putting out things that are what you do, like putting that out on the internet and putting it on social media, is important because it's your track record on how, it's their track record on if you've been in the game for a while or not. And then the last thing is crafting your pitch. It's making sure that you've actually done the work to research these people before you hop in there asking them for something, or hop in there um, trying to give them something, doing the research on these people and figuring out what is actually important to them, um, actually knowing their audience so that you can craft a solution that is specific to them, and not this copy and paste thing that you sent to 15 other people and just like change the name. And then the last thing is, I know not everybody's like super tied to like, oh, why? And I want to be able to help people. But you have to come from a place of service, regardless of the reason for the service. You have to come from a place of, I want to provide this solution to this problem. You can talk about how qualified you are to do it later, but they have to understand and they have to believe that you actually want to solve the problem, and that you're not doing it for some reason that is solely for you. That makes sense? taking that as a yes. Oh, we're getting ready for Q&A. Send in your questions now. So does that mean I stop talking or I was I think you're muted. I was like, is
Yes,
that
I
my
am.
cue
Well,
to
you were
like
wrapping
land
up,
the
so
plane?
I didn't want to disturb the wrap up, so I'll let you finish wrapping up.
Oh, okay. I was like, because sometimes it's okay, sis, land the plane. But yeah. I know this stuff sounds kind of like, well, duh, but I think a lot of us ask for things that we're not in a place that we're actually ready for yet. So it's like, okay, I want to bake a cake. When you think baking a cake, you're thinking, okay, so like, how do I do the ingredients and da da da? But you're not thinking about the fact that you have to go and figure out what kind of cake you want to bake. Then you have to figure out where to get the ingredients, what the ingredients are, getting to the store, paying for it, getting back home, all that kind of stuff. So it's like a lot of stuff that has to happen before you get to the point where you're actually ready to start implementing. And so this was more so that because a lot of people skip over this part, and that's why when we're emailing people for opportunities, we don't get any response back because we've missed the basics. And I've pitched a lot of people, and that's why I got here so quick because I got so many people that ignored me or said no or whatever, and so I got a lot of practice because I was doing a lot of the work. So that's how I was able to get so many features so quickly. Because I had to learn a lot of this the hard way. So well, hopefully you don't. Hopefully you don't.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Master Coach Desiree. And we have some questions. Hello, Dr. Coach Romel. Thank you for joining us. We saw you just popped in. So we are in our Q&A segment. So the last part of our hour before we check out, before y'all go to real happy hour, maybe, or maybe y'all return back to work, or maybe you do nothing. Maybe you've been working all day, and this is how you're gonna end, your work day. Whatever it is, we're gonna be here every Friday for the remainder of the year with hot topics from certified life coaches. So people can see that life coaching, I mean, literally from A to Z. We come from different walks of life, different professions, different, mindsets. And so it's beautiful. So you just heard from Master Coach Desiree, who pretty much talked to us about how to show up. And here's your first question, Master Coach. It says, how can pitching help people be seen, and who do I pitch?
Okay. So first things first, how pitching can help you be seen. I don't know if you have been able to hear the whole talk that I just did, but something in there I said was that we're pitching people all the time, pitching people all the time. I think sometimes when we think pitching, we're thinking like going big, like I'm going to go ask Coca-Cola to partner with me on this thing that I have, and it's not always that big. Sometimes it's you putting a post on social media to get people to buy your thing or to go to your friend's restaurant. That's pitching because you are in essence hopefully persuading people to do what it is that you would like for them to do. That's pitching in essence. And so when you are asking how that equates to putting yourself in front of more people, that goes into when I was talking about building your online presence, because every piece of content that you put out there, every post, every anything that you have that's online, all of that is convincing people of who you are. And that's inadvertently pitching. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's literally everything that you put out. My freaking earpiece keeps falling out. I'm just like, why is my ear so small? Every piece of content that you put out, um, is a pitch. Like it's what sells people on you. And if someone's like, oh hey, I heard this guy and such, and they try to go to Google and then nothing pops up, or they find you on social media, um, the stuff that you put on there is your pitch. Or if you actually decide to formally pitch someone, that's putting yourself out there because you are letting more and more people know that you exist. And even though you may not be a great fit for what they have at the moment, we all have a network full of people. Um, and people pass information around. And so telling as many people as possible about you and what you do is pitching, and therefore helps you put yourself in front of more people. And what was the second part of that question?
Um, and how do you know how people to be
Oh my
seen? And
leg.
who do I pitch? Who do I pitch? But I
Who do you
think you
pitch?
kind of answered that too.
Okay. You pitch the people that you want to be able to be in some sort of partnership with.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that you said every piece of information that you put out is a pitch.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when people and you're right, we are pitching all the time when we want something from somebody, whether it's in our family or our friends, we want somebody to do something. It's like, hey, let me tell you about this new place that I like
Hmm.
to go and eat, and I mean we're really talking it up and we're
Right.
happy, we're excited. But
Hmm.
man, when it comes to our own stuff, it's like I don't know what I do. I don't
Exactly.
I don't I don't
Because if
know
I
why
was
I
like,
like it.
right, because I was like, if I was like, oh my God, I like your glasses. Where did you get them? And you was like, I don't know, like
Right.
from store. But you're like, no, I got them from such and such. But before you buy these things, just so you know, um, mine aren't real, so the rhinestones fall out. It kind of do something back to the back of my ear and this, but they're super cheap, and you can get them over here, and they come in like 2 days, and boom. But when someone's like, "Hey, so what do you do? Are you?" I think someone said that you help people do such and such. What do you do a little bit? And it's like
I don't know what I do.
I kind
I
of just
just
breathe and I pee and I poop and
right.
I eat and
It's
I
like,
like
oh, it's just a little something. No, we suck at it, right? Okay. So hello, so our half a coach, that's going to be a full coach in just 2 days, is on here. Coach Shanique Glaze. I know she's like, no, she didn't call me out. Yes, I did, girl. Hey. I just love it when people join the tribe. Okay, anyway, let's get to this question. How did you get featured in Entrepreneur, Forbes, and all of those magazines?
gotcha. So entrepreneur.
Like 30 seconds to answer that one.
Oh damn. Okay, 30 seconds. Um, how I got featured in Entrepreneur. So when I was talking to you about the crafting your pitch and figuring out how you want to help people and figuring out who is the go-to person for that, I found the go-to person for that. And I stalked their social media to see what kind of stuff that they're interested in, their like what they like, and the kind of writers that they um, have been working with because that's what I wanted to do. I did the research on that part and then I pitched them based off of the people that they selected before and the stories they've written before so that I would naturally be a fit for them. Hopefully
Mm,
that makes sense.
mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like showing up for a job interview. You want to make it seem like you're already a part of the team. In order for you to do that, you have to know what they already like have going on. So I just did the research on that.
Good. And how do you leverage your articles that you're in?
I leverage my articles by using it as social proof. And so I will start off talking about the problems and solutions that I solve. And so um, I am someone that helps women mitigate the challenges that they have in their life so that they can produce more and hit more of their goals because we always have stuff going on in our lives. Um, and we just feel better. We feel great when we feel like we are progressing and we feel like we are making stuff happen. And so I help women navigate those problems. I'll talk about that. And then for me to prove, credibility outside of I'm certified in these 7 areas, I will do things like I am a Forbes Next 1000 nominated master level coach that has been on 230 and 30 lists, Entrepreneur, Business Insider, Yahoo, Authority Global, blah, 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 blah.
And go Google me, right?
Type it in.
I'm
Type it in.
Google, right? And another way is if you really know who your audience is. We talk
Mhm.
about niches and finding your audience or whatever, and in your appearances in these different publications, and you're talking about that, and you may be, this in this article, you may be talking about 3 ways to do this. In this article, you may be
Mhm.
talking about your
Yeah.
story and what brought you there. You can always share those things out where people
Mhm.
can read them and also see your authority and those type of
Yeah.
things. That's
So
good too.
especially like if you're doing like if you're a business owner, you want to put yourself in the places that those people are
Hmm.
going to be taking content from, so that you can be like, hey, I know you're always looking at Essence. Guess who's on Essence? This guy. You should work with me.
Okay, last power hour question of the day is how can you help coaches get seen and share their story? So in answering that question, Master Coach Desiree, you might as well just um,
Mm,
answer that question, tell them how you can help them and how they can find you.
gotcha. Okay, so as you guys know, I am a coach. I said that I help you guys mitigate the challenges in your lives so that you can produce and hit more of your goals. And so, if your goal is to be able to be in more magazines and to be able to be seen, that falls into my area of expertise. And so, I do offer coaching on that. I think the cheapest offer I have right now is $250 a month, and you'll be able to get coaching with me through the Voxer app. And you'll pop in there with your questions, and I'll give you weekly guidelines and weekly prompts and questions and things for you to be able to have markers to hit your goals. And for getting published, I would say that coaching time for you to be able to do it on your own and not need me anymore, because I can, one, teach you how to get in it, and then I can also just get you in it. But if you're wanting to learn how to do it on your own, that process takes about 3 to 6 months, depending on how deep you're trying to get into it. Um, yeah, I feel like there was a second part of that question, but I forgot it. So,
And how can they find you? Like,
gotcha.
what are all your social media pages?
Google, they could just type in my name. It's just all of it pops up. Hashtag hard work. Um, so on Instagram, my handle is at Desiree S. Stapleton. Same thing for Facebook. Um, and if you want my LinkedIn, I don't know what my LinkedIn is. I don't. But on Facebook and social and Instagram, it's the same.
She's struggling with that earpiece, y'all. She's struggling. I think you too. I think you blanked out. Say something.
Am I here?
Okay, yeah, you're here.
Okay. What was the last thing you heard?
Um, your LinkedIn. You didn't know your LinkedIn, but can you just say your Facebook and your Instagram again?
Gotcha. So Facebook and Instagram are at DesireeStapleton.com. I'm sorry, I'm thinking my website are at Desiree S. Stapleton. The website is DesireeStapleton.com. And if you're looking for my link tree, the links are in my bio on everything. All the links are there. So if you find one of them, you'll find all the others.
Okay, awesome. So DesireeStapleton.com is her website.
Hmm.
Yes. And so you can go there. Her name is written right here on the screen. She has it spelled all the way out. So there's no confusion on how to spell her name. Master Coach Desiree, this
Intentional.
has been great. Once again, every Friday we'll be coming with a different coach. We need to know your vote. Should we call this Vote number one, CLC, which stands for Certified Life Coach Success Hour, because all of our guests will be certified life coaches with Master Coach LaKendra, or should we call it Success Power Hour with Master Coach
I'm
LaKendra?
gonna put in my vote
What's
now.
your vote?
I'm gonna put in my vote now because I might forget. I got stuff going on.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Success Power Hour, and the reason I'm gonna go for Success Power Hour because it invokes a sense of power within not just the people that are going to be speaking, but the people that are going to be watching.
Mm,
CLC Success Hour, it could kind of make people who potentially aren't on the panel feel like, well, damn, like I ain't successful enough to get what I make. Oh my God. But
mhm.
Power Hour is more okay. So we're just getting some great minds together. I know you guys have been wanting to get coached in this area, in this area, in this area. We kind of pick the best that we had, and we're going to teach you guys how to do it. Boom, let's go. For an hour, we're going to get into it. Power moves.
I love I love that. I love that. So this was Success Power Hour with Master Coach LaKendra, founder and CEO of the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs. And today we interviewed Master Coach Desiree Stapleton. She is offering a fabulous package. Remember, as an entrepreneur, you must invest in yourself. $250 a month, and you can go as many months that's within your budget, especially once you sit down and talk to her about what it is that you want to accomplish. But even I am working with her on some publication things. So if you want to learn how to tell your story properly and get into, and y'all, I didn't even know this either, there's so many different worthy and notable publications that are, Google friendly. That's what I call it, Google friendly, social media friendly, where people are trying to search you, they can find you. And even
Mm-hmm.
in learning how to get that blue check mark certified, which is something that I'm working on, because
And I'm close. I'm so
on this
close.
on this good talk show, this good reality show coming up pretty soon, and that's something that we need to work on as well. So, and yeah, and she's very close to doing that, because it's all an algorithm of how to get that.
Yeah.
And if that's important to you, if people knowing more of your story, if really wanting to be globally known, where not only people here in the US but in other countries can find you and learn more about you, then Master Coach Desiree is the person to work with. And we literally, are giving you her on a silver, no, not a silver, on a gold platter, because she is $1 million coach. Okay, so
Yes, gas me up.
okay, Coach Sharnique says Success Power Hour. I love it too. So I think Success Power Hour has been the most votes on here. So we will change out our boards for our next week's guest, which is Coach. Um, who is next week? Coach. Uh, oh my gosh! Like my brain totally went blank. Oh, Tamasha Whittington is our coach for next week, and she'll be
Yes.
talking
Truth
about,
of July.
yes,
Truth of
you see what I'm
July.
saying? Because she puts herself out there, and you even know her brand, Truth of July. Exactly. She's going to be really talking about, manifestation and what that looks like in Success Power Hour. So thank you. We went over our hour, but it's progress over perfection for us. Okay. Progress over perfection. Next week, hopefully, we'll stop right there at that hour mark. This is the first segment, and I think it was worthy of going over 8 minutes. Okay. Y'all
If
clap
it
it
helped, it helped. Hopefully, it helped.
up for Ray. Thank you so much, Master Coach, for being here, and we will see you next Friday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Set your timer. Set your clock every Friday, and you can always come back and catch the replay. But we love you being here with us in real time, so we can truly engage, and you can get those questions answered. And if you are a certified life coach with the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, and if you want to join our Success Power Hour segment, we do have a couple of more slots. All you got to do is just send me an inbox. Let me know what your authority is in, and we will add you on to our calendar. So have a beautiful Friday. This weekend is certification for us. So I want to congratulate our new coming coaches. Make sure you join us on Sunday at 7:15 p.m. Central Standard Time to see the graduation live and meet our new coaches that are joining our 1 million coach tribe. And we'll see you next Friday. Bye for now, everyone.
Oh yeah, bye.